Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Had a little mishap here. Here we go.
Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
All right, here we go. Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. We are here in the Java Cafe in the 9 a.m. hour. We have Barry Reeves with us from NECCE. Make sure I got that right. He'll correct me once he gets on. And then James Mackey is coming in at 9:30 to speak with us as well. And so we have two segments today to speak with you. And so we're going to bring in Barry to make the best use of our first half hour. And then James Mackey will be with us at 9:30. And so, Barry, good morning. We're going to jump right in. It's not your first time here. You were with us a few months ago talking about clean energy, the economy, sort of clean energy, and making sure that Black and brown folks are in the know, and also getting some of that green in their pockets as well. So please reintroduce yourself, say good morning to everyone, and we're going to jump right into the updates and things you are doing.
Well, first of all, thanks, Jim, for allowing me to be here and stuff like that. Just for the record, it's the Northeast Clean Energy Council. We are the NECEC. And just really in a sense, for those who don't know about us, let me kind of quickly say my name is Barry Reeves. I'm the VP of DEIJ and Workforce Development for the Northeast Clean Energy Council. We are the largest trade organization really dedicated to building and maintaining the climate economy by helping companies really grow and scale. But we also partner with nonprofit community colleges, universities, municipalities to ensure we are developing the talent that we need for the industry, but also working together with a lot of partners like BECMA, like Surge, to really ensure that we're growing businesses within the climate economy as well.
Absolutely. And you mentioned some great sisters, Nicole Olby from BECMA, as well as JC from Surge as well. And so definitely in good company there. And so what do you have going on? Why, you use the word ensure, and this platform is about sharing resources and information. And so why are you putting such energy into, one, making sure we're aware, and then two, this piece of, someone talked about it yesterday on the opposite end. When America catches a cold, Black and brown people get the flu. However, when there are opportunities in different spaces, we're usually the last to find out and the last to get in. And so just sort of, well, I almost answered it myself, but why are you personally invested in making sure that as this career space, as this trade space is developing, why the emphasis on ensuring Black and brown people get the info?
Well, if you don't know, there's such a rapid intent to really scale and modernize our electric grid infrastructure and really scale new ways to decarbonize the industrial process. And so getting the right talent is so critical. And I say this all the time, you can't have a decarbonization transition without having the right talent. But as we're developing this talent, we need to ensure that it's diverse. The clean energy economy is not a diverse sector. And so we need to ensure that as we're thinking about these career pathways and opportunities to get into the industry, that we're really putting those training programs and opportunities in those communities. So that way we can actually ensure that individuals are transitioning into the community, into the industry. But we're also making sure that we're partnering with our partner organizations like National Grid and Eversource and Oranstead and Vineyard Wind to make sure that we're creating opportunities for Black and brown businesses to really begin to get a foothold in the industry. And so to me, that's what it's all about. That's why I'm here. It's why I'm so passionate about it. It's why I'm so glad that our team at the NECEC, Joe Curtatone, and our whole team, leadership team and organization.
Joe from Somerville?
That's Joe. That Joe. That Joe.
I've known him. Oh my God. This goes back to Healthy Future days. So okay. All right. I don't know if I missed that before, but him being involved in this, I mean, you definitely are the plug. But just it's the we can go right into that. Like, you're intentional about strategic collaborations. Tell us a few things that you have in the works as far as those collaborations.
So one of the things I will say is that we're doing a lot of platforms. So the NECEC is the collaborative thread, and so we bring together municipal organizations, state leadership across the board. And so if you didn't know, we work our way from Maine to New York. So we're not just sitting here focusing on Massachusetts, which is a critical hub, but we're really trying to build a collaborative ecosystem up and down the New England sector to make sure that we are building the right bridges that allow for the right outcomes to happen. You know, there's a ton of, task force and everything else that really don't produce anything. And so we believe that we're the critical thread. We are the ones, the NECC is the critical force to ensure that we're addressing these needs up and down the industry, up and down the region, in the communities, underserved communities, in the EJ communities, to ensure that everyone is able to be a part of the just and equitable transition. I'll say it again, just and equitable transition. So it's not just saying, yeah, we've got a couple of programs, but we're seeing the outcomes for those communities that don't happen sometimes. And so we want to make sure that happens.
Talk to me about the, we're Boston centered, but we're expanding and kind of went international this weekend. Talk to me about the difference in the region. Does, there are certain places geographically there aren't a lot of Black and brown folks. But talk to me about what's going on in the region. Massachusetts is a hub. Boston is a hub in a lot of things, but what's going on in the region with this clean energy economy? For me, that's how I view the work that you're doing, that it's the economy of the green sort of blue energy space as well.
Yep. And so I would run out of time trying to list all the things that are happening, but I'll give you one thing I'm really excited about. And so one of the things that we're working on here in the state of Mass is the partnership with community colleges, such as with Franklin Cummins Tech and other community colleges. Because one of the things we tend to have a trouble time is that aligning the right training programs with the right skill sets, and making sure that as individuals are thinking about transitioning into the clean energy sector, how do we ensure they're on the right career pathways? How do we ensure that they're getting the right training to enter to the solar, offshore wind, EV storage, goodness gracious, onshore wind? Just are the pathways right? And so we're excited about partnering with the Mass Municipal College Association, where we're going to work with them to say, how do we ensure that the community colleges understand what the industry needs and understand how to get talent into the industry, and making sure that training pipeline is actually connective. There's a lot of times where there's training programs out there that they don't really terminate with a job. And so you've got an individual who's excited about getting there, and they get in this training program, and at the end of that training program, there's no job. And that does happen a lot of times in Black and brown communities. So partnerships like with the community colleges in Massachusetts, or the Department of Energy, the Governor's Office of Energy in the state of Maine. We're also working with the Department of Energy in Connecticut, where we're actually building clean energy pathways. We're also partnering with the new Climate Hub, which is a startup hub that we have in Connecticut, because under the NECEC, we have Clean Tech Open Northeast, which is one of the largest clean tech startups in the country, at least in the East Coast, that is bringing individuals into the climate space to create innovation solutions to meet those climate concerns and needs.
I wanted to ask, and let's talk about how we get in. Let's start maybe with young people. Is this something that right out of high school that folks can sign up for? If you have resources, and I know the website is the hub, but if an aunt is listening, if an uncle is listening, we're coming up on graduation season. How do young people, we'll start off with them and then we'll go into us old heads jumping in late. How do young people get involved and take advantage of, and I know you're the hub, but you can, I presume, point young people to training, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll point out like this. So we're super excited that the Mass Center of Clean Energy we're working with them to actually create what we call innovation pathways. And so these pathways actually begin to build awareness of the opportunities within the clean energy sector, and not just the trades, but also those engineering and other opportunities that are sometimes missed, to really have individuals at the critical decision points in the state and local areas. So first of all, that innovation pathway is so exciting. Really is going to help people really understand. But then we're happy to partner with Franklin Cummins Tech. The National Grid is creating a program to actually create pathway programs into them. Snyder Electric is doing the same thing. And so if individuals are really wanting to get in there, the first thing I would say to you is that start looking at your local nonprofit organizations who are really partnering together. The city of Boston is doing a tremendous work in trying to create pathway programs for returning citizens and individuals who are looking to transition in there. So they're doing some great stuff there as well. So there's a ton of information out there. But I would say, if you're really looking for it, please reach out to us at the NECEC.org. Happy to point to a lot of our organizational partners who are really doing some great stuff. I would be remiss if I didn't point out Roxbury Community College and the work they're doing out there as well to build innovation pathways for building automation trades and other programs as well.
So I asked you about young people coming in at high school. Is it an old head either wanting to get in on the training? A lot of people had to switch careers during the pandemic. How does a not fresh out of high school get tapped in? And I would presume maybe an investor's watching. And so twofold there. How do older folks get in the training? And then if they're investors, because that is another pathway into building wealth. And let's just name that ultimate goal, I believe, here is ensuring that we can also build wealth while getting in on the economy of this clean energy space.
Well, I'll start first of all with let's start with the transitioning people. So once again, it's really connecting with those local nonprofit organizations and training organizations. I'll continue to point out Franklin Cummins Tech and the team out there that's doing some great work. I also will shout out Brown in the Green Space and Kerry Boo and his team out there who are doing some great stuff, who are creating innovation pathways and hubs for businesses who are really looking to develop. Wouldn't be remiss if I didn't shout out JC and the team out there, or Shantae Davis, or one of my good friends who you had on before, Shonda Smart, who are trying to do the work necessary to help people transition in. So specifically, once again, it really starts with discovering where it is that you want to be at. The industry is too big to say, well, one, where do you want to be? Where are the tools necessary? And once you look at and understand what the opportunities are there, then you can start thinking about the training pathways that are going to help you get into that particular industry, whether it's, like I said, offshore wind, solar, EV storage, grid modernization, microgrids. I would be remiss to go on and on and on. So really it starts with the awareness of what the opportunities are there. And then once you understand where you think your career future is at, begin that process for training. There's so much out there, Jimmy, that I would be listing sources all day long. But we're happy in the NECEC to really promote those sources and really help people begin to see those connective pathways. Mask CEC has a ton of information on this website as well, that people can really find out what the opportunities are out there. And organizations, businesses, there's a ton of incubators that you really need to get connected to. So that way you can actually begin to build a business. That's why I shouted out Shantae Davis and B2B, successful organization that's really beginning to take a foothold in the EV building EV infrastructure as well.
I have a question in there based on what you were answering there. And so Kathy is asking if how does a returning citizen connect to these opportunities? And so, as he mentioned, Franklin Cummins Institute is one of the examples where folks now, presumably they reach out, they say, hey, I'm interested in
X. They'll reach out and they're looking for, hey, I'm interested in some information or like to know kind of what training you're available. Roxbury Community College is another one. A lot of programs, I would say, and I will continue to point when it comes to programming, I would really shout out Jennifer Applebaum and the team over at Mass Center of Clean Energy that really get out to their website. Now, listen, I'm going to always point at the NECEC as a critical hub, but we need partners in this space. And so having those partners in those interventions. So if you're literally looking for how to transition, really reach out to those websites, those organizations, and begin to ask questions. But then demand from your municipality about what programming they're doing. So it's not just saying where, it's who. That's why we have municipal partnerships to say, how do we get talent from your community to really transition into it as well?
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break, Barry, before we get ready to transition over to James Mackey coming with us, and you two will get a chance to talk. But folks, we'll be right back with you during this short break. After. Hey, everyone. We are returning with Barry Reeves, who is the vice president at NECEC, and we're chatting with him and getting updates about the wonderful work that they're doing. And so we left that segment talking about training opportunities, Franklin Cummings Institute. You mentioned also Mass. What was the other entity?
Mass CEC.
Mass CEC.
Yeah,
all right.
Mass Clean Energy Center. Yeah.
Clean Energy Center. And that's an acronym because in these different spaces, you know, government and medicine, people come up with acronyms. And so Clean Energy Center, Clean Energy Center. So when you see CEC, that's what we're referring to. I wanted to make sure also that you all knew that you can go to the website. That is the hub where you can get all of the information related to the work that Barry is doing, as well as if you wanted to reach out to Barry directly, you can reach out to him as it's spelled, Barry Reeves, on LinkedIn. And also, we're just going to leave a couple of seconds if anyone has any specific questions. Kathy, thank you for yours earlier about how can returning citizens or anyone that's interested in the training, you can seek out local nonprofits that are offering training like the Franklin Cummings Institute, as well as over there with our good friend Jackie Jenkins Scott at Roxbury Community College. And so, Barry, do you have any events coming up, anything in the community where folks can come out, or if you know about other events where there are going to be resource tables and folks can maybe go and have a conversation and talk to someone in the community?
Well, one thing I want to point out is that our grid modernization event that's coming up, I think it's May 23rd. And so this conversation really is all about the future of the grid. We're talking about how we are going to transition our aging grid to this new innovation, new process. And so having all the industry partners, all the decision makers, all the state and local officials in that conversation. And so one of the things that we've been pushing our team to do is that who is not at the table, who needs to be at the table to be a part of this conversation. So I'm gonna hit my hand on the counter and say, you gotta be a part. So definitely take a look at our website and find out about these events and these activities. So that way we can do it. Hey, Pam, how are you doing? It's good to see you again as well.
So one of the dates, we want to make sure we capture that. And if you have is that information on your website about the May 23rd event?
Yeah.
Or even if you have information that points directly to that, we'll be glad to take that. Good to see Pam in the room as well as always. Let
me throw a couple there. So number one, we're doing a make it easy to be green with the NECEC and Marsh McLennan on April 16th. That's coming up. So that's tomorrow. So that's number one thing.
That's today. You said April 16th. You're as bad as me. That's today.
Yeah. We're doing that. We're also, we're hosting a summit with Maine economy and climate change on May the 9th. So we're doing an event with Maine as well. We're also doing the transition into future grid event. This is the second of three on May 23rd. And so we're doing that in Boston as well. And then the last thing we're doing is we're doing an investor corporate customer connect on June 11th, and where we're really beginning this, I navigate. And so if I can plug a couple of things real quick just for our organizations, because it's so critical. I want to plug Tim, Natalie, and Olivia and the policy team. Once again, having these critical conversations about effective policies that are going to create equitable outcomes for communities of color. I want to also promote Alistair and the innovation team and Beth at Clean Tech Open, and really beginning to build a pathway for clean tech startups to include Black and Brown. I'm so excited and happy that they're doing such great work. 44 out of the 66% of the individuals that are going through Clean Tech Open are diverse, come from a diverse background, and a huge number of them are women. But we want to see more women and people of color in the Clean Tech startup. And I also want to promote Kristen Stelges, who's our chief operation officer, but she runs our municipal work. We just released the municipal guide to decarbonization that's on our website. Super great information on how do municipalities really tap into the opportunities that were given by the Inflation Reduction Act on for communities to really help them think about how to transition to a decarbonization free future.
All right, Barry. Listen, please keep us abreast. You and I are going to also have some conversations in the background just to stay up with what's going on with the NC Clean Energy Center. Don't forget, folks, CEC is the
Northeast Clean Energy Council. I'm going to get you to say it.
No, that's yours. I'm talking about in general for acronyms. When you see CEC, that's a Clean Energy Center.
Yes.
In reference to the folks that you're working with across the region as well. And so, Barry, keep us abreast, man. I look forward to seeing you in community again soon. We're going to transition over to James Mackey coming in. But thank you, brother. And again, keep us abreast and get me those dates if you have flyers. Get those out, and between that and some marketing stuff, we can figure it out. But thank you so much, Barry, for being with us. I look forward to seeing you in community soon.
Same here, sir.
All right, folks, make sure you go check out that information. Don't forget, you can go to www.necec.org. It is also hyperlinked in the comments as well. And there it is there. And just as the camera paused, for those of you that were watching yesterday, and I see my good friend Sharon Cornelius is in the building this morning. I figured out what was wrong with the camera yesterday. The little adapter that I have things plugged into, and I'm going to get him. The things that I had, the thing that I have things plugged into was moving. And so that's why we had that issue. But we're getting ready to bring in James Mackey, who is a well-known community leader, advocate, dad, husband, clothing designer. And so we're glad to have him here with us this morning. He is mobile, and I'll visit him about that later. But we are definitely glad to have him in the building. For the back, we're all set. We are good, man. Thank you for being with us, and we're all set on this end. James,
thank you.
How are we here today?
Good, man. Can you hear me?
I can. You're good. You're good.
Right,
until
cool.
until you get to a signal where you start getting spotty, and you must have just hit a bump because your whole head just.
Oh, it's all messed up.
Let's just check in. We're going to talk about why you're here and be serious, but we haven't talked with you in a while. You're doing a lot. You're moving in community. Right. You're there at More to Words and whatnot. So I always do this with our women, but I want to be intentional about this with our brothers as well. How you doing?
Good question, bro. Listen, I'm doing fine, man. I wish I could be doing better, but listen, I was born, I was built to lose, but born to win. I'm gonna just put it like that. You know what I'm saying?
James, don't start with me this morning. But listen, while you're here, and I want to be sensitive to the fact that you're mobile. And so why are we here this morning? I've seen a flyer popping around. I'm actually going to try to get that up on screen while you're talking, but give us some updates about what's going on in the latest project you're working on.
Yeah, no, thank you. Listen, y'all. Y'all know this advocacy fight is no joke, man. Related to policy, you got policymakers making decisions for us without us, and only when it comes time for them to be elected is when they really start showing up and taking pictures with you and giving you a few words of wisdom as though they're for you. But behind closed doors, decisions are being made without you. So I'm gonna just say that up front, because the reality is that's why our people as a collective, as a community, haven't fully participated in our civic duty, because one, it was a structure that was created before us, about us, without us. So
look. Not before us, but I see what you mean. But I just wanted to be clear because we've been around. Go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah, we've been around. Right. Exactly. So since 2013, the legislation around raise the age, we have been fighting. I mean community folk, you got coalition folk, young people have been showing up at the front and the doorsteps of the State House to say, we want to raise the age from 17 to 18, right? So raise the age, meaning that young people stay in the juvenile DYS facility along with the juvenile courts. They stay in the juvenile courts. Now, the benefit of that is when young people, enter those situations, they can be diverted. They can possibly expunge their record depending on what kind of record that they decision that they make as a young person, and so many other factors that play a major role with why that mattered. But yet we're here. We started fighting in 2015 for raise the age from 18 to 20. Now, the reason why, I mean, I don't have to do the data. I don't have to do the statistics and what the science says, but we all know, like, we make ill decisions until later on in life, until we're like 25 plus. Well, we realize that, wow, I cannot believe I was doing stuff like that when I was a youngin', right? So
some of us are still doing it now, brother.
Still, listen, and a lot of that is due to us being constructed into these confined spaces and places where we don't have the equitable, food, access to food, equitable green space. Listen, I can break it down.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Right. And I want to be clear. I'm speaking to the community. I'm speaking to y'all because, like, we get sick and tired of hearing the you need to go vote. Like, vote for what? Vote for who? And let me just be clear. We're voting for people that continue to make decisions on our behalf without us, or don't listen to us at all. And so, with that being said, since 2015, we've been advocating for raise the age from 18 to 20. What's that saying is we don't want young people who are 18 to 20 to be automatically tried as an adult and be sent to prison, but stay in the DYS facility, stay in the juvenile courts, and so they can reap the benefits that young people are in dire need of to fully grow developmentally. So in order for them to have a greater chance at life, a greater chance at other opportunities and the rich benefits that the state of Commonwealth has to offer, then we have to tap into their potential. We have to give them the opportunity to rewrite their wrong. And that's what this rally is all about, like raising the age. Like, we have to stop saying, listen.
Go ahead, James.
Stop showing up for our young people in other spaces, and also start showing up with them and civic duty spaces and places. Like, for instance, I'm gonna be 100, and this is no disregard to anyone, or like, I love all my people. So I see a flyer going around same day that the event is happening, Thursday, 12 p.m. in front of the State House, the rally, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the flyer out as we speak. Yep, go ahead.
I seen another flyer go out.
Oh, Jesus.
It's about basketball. And I love the idea of, police and young people balling together.
Yeah.
But guess what? Guess who's the pushback for the raise the age? Police. Guess who else is pushing back for raise the age? The sheriffs. And they coming in strong. So hold on. Wait, just listen. So our young people,
the sheriffs. Hold on, you said the sheriffs, but I just went to the website.
Sheriffs.
But Steve is on the website in support.
Who?
Steve Tompkins, unless I'm on the wrong raise the age.
No, okay, I said sheriffs. So there's multiple sheriffs across the Commonwealth.
Yep.
He's in support.
Okay.
And in fact, we would love for Steve Tompkins to come and speak on why he's in support of raise the age. Because I love the idea of putting it on your page, but show up publicly and endorse and stand with our young people and tell them that you support. Don't just put it on your website, Steve Tompkins. Come on, Sheriff. All right, so this Thursday, we got an event happening at the State House where we trying to galvanize young people, have young people show up, and we want community and adults to show up. This is pivotal, and this is important. This is where community really plays a major role. So we be getting pushed back from the police. We be getting pushed back from the sheriffs. And the reason being is because they got a stronger army that shows up, and they know the importance of civic duty. They show up, they like, yo, no, we don't want this to pass. Here's the reason why. Now, their reason could be because of, listen, loss of jobs. Like, listen, CEOs, they making 100 plus. You know what I'm saying? Folks in
CEOs that are
DYS,
involved with the perpetuation of our incarceration, and yep.
Exactly. But folks in and man, over time they get paid. Man, they making money, right? And a lot of politicians that don't look like us, their peers or their family members are probably the ones that are also the CEOs. You know what I'm saying? I mean the CEOs. So with that being said, you have DYS folks. You have folks that are in DYS that don't get paid nowhere near the amount of money that the correctional officers get.
Yep.
So it's a resource allocation. It's a power a shift, right? So they don't want that. And so yes, they're gonna be in opposition for that. And plus, man, these sheriffs, they get a lot of money to house people behind those walls, but yet and still, like, if you send our young people there, you're creating a space where a lot of traumatic experiences gonna happen. Like, young folks will be victimized on so many different levels, man. And we need to make sure that we keep our young people safe. We talk about keeping our young people safe on the streets. Why not keep our young people safe when they enter, the criminal legal system?
If we can keep them out, if we can keep them out, that's first. But if they go in, at least this rehabilitation and recidivism and all that other stuff, we really have to be committed to the fact of not, because it is a business. I misunderstood you earlier when you said CEO, but I'm glad that we made that point, bro, because it is a business. Those that supply the food, to those that paint, to those that do the maintenance, to those that build,
all of that,
bruh.
So listen, I know we got a short time span, but I
got the link up. I'm telling folks to come there. I got you covered with the graphics and all that.
I bet. So going back to I want three things that I want to touch on. The other flyer that's being shared, and how we're doing a disservice for our young folks around what it means to be civically engaged and participating in civic duty. The opposition, which we are discussing right now, and why now? Why show up? Why show up at the State House? So let me just start with, again, the flyer, basketball, police is playing against young folks. I think that's great. I love it. And I'm glad that young people are showing up. Like, I'm glad that our community is showing up. But I'm gonna be 100% honest. I see our community show up for basketball every single time, and we show out in numbers. And I wish that our people would show up for our young people around policy that's impacting them in numbers. If we can do that, watch how people and policy change the way they view us, change the way they see us, change the way policy is made. Because when we start showing up for our young people, and even for ourselves, the way we show up for other things, that's where the real impact happens. Like, really, we got to start tapping into our young people's potential at a very young age. And even sometimes we got to tap into our own potential. And we can't be fearful of these policymakers. We can't be fearful because they wearing a suit and tie, you know what I'm saying? Because they got this political position, like they have power and autonomy over us. No, they don't. Bro, we got power, and we gotta learn how to utilize it. We gotta make sure that we create greater chances for not only just our generation right now, but for our future. And if we continue to just not show up, or if we continue to just compromise, then we'll be stuck in this sunken place. And we got to do something better. We got to do better. So with that being said, again, no disrespect to my peoples that's organizing that event, but it's happening on the same day.
And is it the same time? Because you got ideas.
Same time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking on the day. I'm not knocking on the day.
Absolutely.
I'm just knocking the fact that you got young people that are going to be playing police officers, but those same police officers will play these young people. But when it's time to convict them young folks, watch those same police officers show up at court. So I want to be clear and I want to be real about that, because that's real, and I want us to sit on that. And y'all can, and whoever's watching, you can take it for what it's worth. Like, it is what it is. When you see me, we can have a conversation. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, because I care about our people. I care about our people being able to be free, being able to have access to the rich resources that Massachusetts have to offer. But yet and still, if young people are still having doors shut in their face and are not given the opportunity to rewrite their wrongs, or given the opportunity to take a development approach to taking care of themselves, to figure out what it is that they want to do in life, that, yeah, we got challenges. Yeah, young people make decisions, but don't continue to blame them because of a rap sheet that they got. Like, do we understand the underlying issues that these young people have faced before they got into the situation that they in? Like, do you know that in more than words, the most of the population that we work with are homeless and are left to fend for themselves and have to figure it out, don't have housing, have food security, don't have clothes, none of that. 80% of the young people, 80% of the adults that are locked up have been involved in DCF or foster care custody, but have been forced out. 80% of the population. Let's keep going. If you are a taxpaying citizen, do you know that we spend more money with 18 to 20-year-olds in the adult prison system than we spend in Massachusetts as a whole? Like, that's where a lot of our money is being spent, from young people entering the adult prison system. So think about it. If we invest into our young people at the front end, if we give young people the opportunity to take a development approach, invest some of that money or allocate some of the resources that are in the prisons or the jails to DYS facilities, then they'll have the resources, and they'll have the capacity to support our young people that are in dire need. But yet and still, you'll have this rhetoric, or you'll have this narrative that young people, that they'll go straight to the violence. Like, well, why is it only violence? A lot of our young people have youthful offenses that they could have been diverted.
We have diversion programs, so how come
we got diversion programs like crazy? But what we don't want young people to touch that adult legal system, because once they get that record, they can never get that record sealed. And then it follows them. And then thinking about young people trying to still re-engage in society after they come from behind the walls, dealing with traumatic experiences. Like, you're going to hear from speakers, young adults and adults, that's going to share with you that entered the prison system when they were 18, and the impact that has had on their mental well-being, on their physical well-being. We got folks that are going to talk about their peers.
So, James, let me ask you this. You know, it at any age to be wrongfully convicted is one thing, but here of late we've been noticing folks like Sean, Steve, Darrell when he came home, and others. And I really want to be intentional. If you could help me with this, we need to get some name of some women as well, because we name all the brothers and we never name the women who are just as wrongfully convicted. But the risk, as you were talking, what stood out to me was that there's less risk of wrongfully convicting. I don't care if they say the percentages are low. 1% of what they went through in cases of 32 years and 20 years and whatnot. I believe
let's not believe their numbers.
But I believe there's less of a risk if you don't point that 18 to 20-year-old in the adult system. And when they turn 25, you find out that, you know, or if they're serving in a DYS facility or whatever, they're convicted, then you find out some years later, it's almost too late to go back there. And let's keep it 100, James. The developmental point that where our young people are now, it's not where it was when we're kind of a different generation, but
you're right.
Not where it was before. And so I that's just some of my commentary as another, you listed many, as another reason to get out and support this now. For the folks that can't make it out, I presume now this is a rally, so they can't send in hearings. How can, James, people that can't get off of work, that can't be there at 12, I believe you're intentional in doing this during are the young people on vacation this week? Is this vacation?
Yeah, that's
okay.
the reason why
You're being intentional.
exactly.
Look, I'm going back to my youth worker days. And so if they can't come out, James, how can the old heads support?
Thank you. Great question. Listen, man, it's simple. Do you know who your legislator is? If you know who your legislator is, you can go find my legislator MA or Massachusetts, find my legislator, whatever you want, like type in something that says find my legislator, Google that.
Got you.
Find your legislator. Then tell him or tell them that you support House Bill 1710.
Hold on, because I'm putting it. We're gonna put this up. We're gonna do a training right here in real time. Hold on. All right. So, folks, in the comments right now, if you go to this link, they're in the comments. You can go after. If you're watching in the after watch, you may have to navigate to the comments to get here. But this is the link right here where you find my legislator. And James, what is the bill again?
House 1710. So it's H 1710. You can have whoever answers the phone to tell them to write it down and say representative, because H stands for House of Representative. So that's a House of Representative bill. So that means you want them to sign on and sponsor House Bill 1710.
You want them to sign on and
urge them to sign on.
I said tell, but all right.
No, urge them and say, if not, we're gonna have young people show up at the State House steps Thursday.
Now, some of my old youth worker days, this kind of takes.
Now I got a Senate bill. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say what you
go ahead.
Go
ahead, brother.
So the Senate bill is S942.
All right. Hold on. Yep.
S942. Now we have strong supporters like the Senate president. She's in full support.
Okay.
Now the problem is the House. There's too many people in the House, and you got the Speaker of the House that has not nudged, buzzed, or said anything, won't endorse or anything. Now, mind you,
hold on before you go.
Quincy.
What's the number of the Senate? What's the number of the Senate bill?
S942.
Okay, got it. So just to clarify for people, listen, folks, one action that you can take if you can't attend on Thursday is first go to, I put it in the comments, go to the Find My Legislator link. Then when you find out who your legislators are, you want to call your state representative, and you want to also call your state senator and urge them. If you're calling your state representatives, a trick to this is if it says 8, when you're calling your representative, you want to refer to H1710, House of Representatives, H1710. If you are calling your senator, you want to refer to Senate Bill Senate S942. Reach out to them and tell them James said urge, I said tell. But go ahead, Mr. Mackey. I'm sorry.
Nah, not me, just our young people. The young people that will consistently be impacted by this bill if it's not passed this session. If it doesn't pass through the judiciary and be voted favorably on the House floor, then guess what? We'll have to go back again another 2 years. Our young people don't have another 2 years. We're sick and tired. Another 2 years. Now, every year you got so many young people from the age 1,000 or so, 1,500 or so young people that are being convicted by this specific law. Think about if we change that and how that build up, that trauma, that impact that's having on most of Black and brown young folk, right? Yes. And when they come back home, we try to figure out what's wrong with them. We don't have the services or the capacity to deal with some of the traumatic experiences that our young people are dealing with behind the walls.
James, it was because like this. It was like this before the pandemic.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm so afraid of the full capacity of us seeing the impact of the pandemic after the hype. You know, the hype, it's been 4 years. It's now settling, and like the real hardcore impact of the pandemic is demonstrating itself. Bro. Yeah. And so this is why we need this, because unfortunately, some of our young people, as the reason why we're advocating for this,
Yep.
don't have the developmental skills or decision-making skills,
Yep.
Especially now.
Yep.
They were 12 and 13 during the pandemic. They
Yep.
they don't have the social skills, and it's
None
not
of that.
Excuse, but so all right, James, we gotta get ready to wrap up. You done got my right leg shaking like they do sometimes.
I just got one more thing that I just want people to do as a second action item, because we want to be action oriented.
Yes, sir.
We want to be, we want to make sure that folks really hear us. We would love you to not only just call your legislator, but if you on social media, you can also tag them and tell them, hey, we urge you to sign A, B, and C. Or we urge you to sign House Bill 1710. We urge you to sign Senate Bill 942. The reason why that is extremely important is because, like, they know who's called, but when you call them out on social platforms, everybody can see that. And we want to make sure that we make enough noise so that their phone is ringing, that their social media is blowing up, where they like, yo, listen, we really got to make a decision. We really have to sign on, because our constituents are reaching out to us. Lastly, if you live in Quincy, Massachusetts,
or hold on, let's this other strategy.
Yeah.
If you know someone that shares your values, or a family member that lives in Quincy, call them, because the truth is the legislator don't care if it's not a vote for them. Let's keep that 100.
He doesn't care, man.
Another tactic is, if you know somebody in Quincy that shares this value, get them. Go ahead.
Yes, all of that, man. We need y'all to show up this Thursday in front of the State House steps. Show up on behalf of our young people, and not only just for sports, but things that are really impacting their life every single day. If they are convicted or being impacted by something, or wrongly convicted.
That's the other piece that just crossed my mind, man, because it at any age it's wrong. But imagine you coming out of the pandemic, you don't have the social skills, you get convicted at 17, you're thrown in an adult prison system. Even if you come home, what goes on and James, that might have to be an after dark,
bro. We have to listen. My little brother got locked up at 17, went to the adult prison system. I'll tell you that it was the worst thing that I had to witness, seeing my little brother go there. My dad went there at the age of 19. I'm telling you, it's deep. It's deep in my, it's in me.
Yes, sir.
To show up, not only for the folks that have that's closest to me, but for young people that look just like me, that look up to me.
Yes, sir.
That say, you know what, James, I appreciate you for showing up with me on behalf of me, because I know that the repercussions of the repercussions of what, certain decisions that I may have made in the past, you still show up for me. Think about that.
Yes, sir.
Think about how young people will feel seeing our community show up for them, and not only just for basketball, not only just for any sport.
I get texts and stuff here and there from folks from 12 years ago, 15 years ago. I'm seeing cats buying houses and businesses and whatnot. So you never know the impact that you're having. Mackey, we got to get ready to wrap up, brother. But all the information is out there. Folks are putting it in the comments and whatnot. So it at least is a buzz now out there about it. And folks, make the phone calls.
Thank y'all.
You can't show up, and if you can show up on your lunch break and you work downtown, just show up. And even if you just walk by and say whoop whoop with your food, that support of a young person catching an eye with you and you supporting them. This is on the steps, right, James?
Yep, right on the steps. And just last thing, right? So if you all do show up, we're asking. We already got media folks that are going to be speaking to the media. Don't speak to the media. They're going to have their own narrative. They're gonna try to get because what they want is to try to get a narrative, and we don't want to throw no one off.
So say that again. Say that again.
So let's say if they do show up and the media try to get in their face, like, hey, so why are you show up here today? Like, just direct them to the media people, because they will try to throw you off your game and try to get their narrative, and we have our narrative. So what do you think about the police and everything? Like, they may throw you off. So we're asking you not to speak to media. Please don't. That's where we got media. We got Java with Jimmy, right? We good. Like,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? We don't need the other media to show up and throw us off our game. To try to pitch the dominant narrative that is not for us, that is against us. So again, we just ask that you all not speak to media and direct it. We got folks there that will speak to whatever questions that the media has, and the stories will tell the media whatever they need to hear.
Okay.
On that note, we see y'all Thursday, 12 p.m. at the State House. We need to show up for our young people. Raise the age. Stop convicting young people from 18 to 20 as adults, and keep them in the juvenile facility. Keep them to still have the opportunity to access education. Keep them from being for having the opportunity to still be able to see their family. Keep them for being able to have the opportunity to have real jobs and connecting with folks that are going to give them job opportunities as they transition out of DYS facilities. We met with the DYS commissioner. She is for it, but publicly she can't say it.
Well,
we just met with her last week. And she cares. She got a lot of stuff happening in that space. And listen,
they're gonna mess with her and talk about, we heard on that you're in support of this behind closed doors. You know how these people are. Let me just say this, James, and it's a general statement, not just to this. White frail people are very upset in our rising voices and impact, and they will use any and every tactic to try, as you said, to write our narrative, to make up narratives and whatnot. And as I said on Twitter yesterday, not happening. So
I just laugh. So, like, a lot of folks don't know that, I'm like a registered lobbyist, right? It's crazy me saying that because of the path of me getting to where I am. Like, I'm a registered lobbyist. It's crazy. But anyway, like, over the past 4 months since I've been at More Than Words, I've had over 50 meetings with legislators, policymakers, community coalition building sessions and strategy sessions around this specific bill and a multitude of other bills related to things that are impacting our young people. And when I'm in these spaces and places, I hear other people share narratives. They don't know our people.
And that's why, James, I'm going to say this, and this is why this and some others, Black platforms need to be paramount in the good, positive stories, and unfortunately when there's tragedy, because it won't be a spin. It'll be the truth about that person. Yep. And James, all right, you got my right leg shaking. So bro, please keep us abreast about what's going on. Shout out to Miss Free Marie. They over there having a conversation on Instagram. But Free and Kareem, please share this information for young people. And as Miss Teresa said as well, tag youth workers, tag parents, tag peers in this episode. Tell them to watch the whole thing, but tell them to speed up to about 9:31, and so they can hear this whole segment in reference to
Raise the Age rally.
Yep. And then I need to connect you with Barry, because Barry said your type of voice is one of the voices that we need at the table as this green and blue economy and clean energy centers are doing work and whatnot. We need to make sure that one, that they don't go in. Two, if they go in and come out, even if DYS, that they come in some sort of career development and job training. I'll connect you and Barry around that. We can definitely do that. And I got some more to discuss there, but we're gonna have to have that. That's why you gotta have me on again. I need a full hour, my brother. Don't give me 30 minutes. I got more. Listen, I love you. I love y'all for watching. Thank y'all for joining in. But listen, I'll love you more if you show up with our young people, and not just for basketball, but around Raise the Age. James, get off of here, sir. Godspeed. God protect you, man, and we'll talk. All right, sir. Thank you, brother. Yep. Listen, folks, James don't play. Love his energy. He's always had it. And so it's definitely good to know that there are folks out there. Free, thank you so much. A legend here from Boston over on Instagram. I'm mentioning, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, y'all old heads will remember 106 in Park. She's known for a lot more. but she's listening over on Instagram along with a few others. So thank all of you that are over there. Please make sure that you share this information, tag youth workers, tag parents, tag aunties and uncles. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with you as we wrap up for today.
For the innovators, the dreamers, the risk takers, independent workers who keep our neighborhoods thriving, Connector Care from the Massachusetts Health Connector has plans for every lifestyle and budget.
Having access to affordable healthcare is for everyone in our community.
Connector Care plans help more people save on healthcare that covers all their needs. Find out if you qualify for Connector Care. Visit mahealthconnector.org or call 1-877-MA-ENROLL.
All right, folks, that's it for us today. We're going to wrap up. Please plan to join us tomorrow as we continue these type of information sharing conversations. Tomorrow, I am excited, always excited for all my guests, but these two, oops, wrong one. These two here, Helena and Conan, are coming in to talk about their event that I am actually hosting a panel on April 30th around, y'all know, I'm going to go ahead and just get the right flyer up. Hold on. There is an event on April 30th, and Conan and Helena are coming in to speak with me about that tomorrow. And so we'll just share more with you about that tomorrow because I can't get it up right now. And then also on today's Wednesday. What's today? Tuesday, y'all? Hold on. I think I'm missing a flyer over here. This is our guest for tomorrow. And then Thursday, we'll let you know tomorrow. I don't have it queued up. That's it for me this morning. Thank all of you that tuned in, to the new viewers, to the Java family that's been with us for 4 years, a year. Thank all of you for being here with us today. We will see you, and Instagram just cut us off. They get on my nerves, y'all. They only give you an hour over on Instagram. So we will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Please be sure to make sure that you follow up on the things that James were talking. I'm just doing some stuff in the background with Instagram. That James was, oh, Jesus, come on. I'm not doing this right now. I'm getting off of here. Y'all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with Conan and Helena. Thank you all for tuning in, and Godspeed, blessings and peace to all of you. Have a great day. Peace.